Hi Aquarius, I hope that you're all doing well. What I'm seeing us start off with is an energy where there can be a little bit of an upgrade that you're going through at this point. What it seems like is happening is that if you're checking in with everything that's going on right now and you're looking at your path and you're looking at where you are now, also like maybe what you're hoping for, what you're interested in, the direction of things going a certain way, when you really check in about it, there could be some corrections that are being made at this point. Like maybe you have some stuff that you've been working on that when you, or you've been actively investing in within your life, and you look at it and you're like, I don't know if I want to invest in it like that. I don't know if I even want to invest in that in the first place. There can just be something that's going on where it feels like if there's stuff that's going on, whether this be like a relationship with another person, or it be like your relationship to your hopes and your dreams, or like even more long-term stuff, it can be a time when you look at it and correct what needs to be corrected. So if you have anything that you're checking out and you're like, I think that this is actually blocking me from experiencing something that I want to be experiencing, or I feel like the potential of this could be better, but I need to make these adjustments or these corrections, it can be the time actually when you do that. I feel like there's a big thing that has to do with, I'm seeing both Aquarius and I'm seeing Libra here. So this can be about your own personal, unique self-expression of what you want and what you like and your preferences when you're being totally honest about what that is and like how you want to be living your life and what you want to be doing or not doing. And then having Libra there feels like maybe the adjustments that you're going to be making, but also like needing to confront things that maybe feel a little bit uncomfortable at times. And for some of you, this has to do with the way that you're socializing, and it has to do with your relationships, but it all comes back to your relationship with yourself and your path. And I'm also seeing King of Wands be coming out too. So this can be something that you have to take this upon yourself to create like more of a semblance of balance here, that maybe you feel like something isn't there. But the way that I'm seeing the star and justice be feels like, you know, when things are flowing the way that they're supposed to be flowing, and you're even giving something a chance to evolve in the way that it needs to evolve, versus doing something that you feel like is counterproductive because it may be easier or because you can avoid confronting it. But then you can look at it and say, I feel like I'm not giving this a real chance here, or I feel like I'm giving up on a dream or like something that matters to me. And a dream, like, sure, it can be something lofty, but it can even just be like a way that you'd wish to live your life. It doesn't have to be anything like so extreme. It can be just like even something going on daily. Now I'm seeing Four of Pentacles. Maybe there's something within you where you know there needs to be some type of adjustment. I get that more than anything, but you can like not want to move anything. It's like, I want the change, but I don't want to have to do that. Maybe this is something where you're like, I don't want to have to give up this position, or I don't want to have to give up like some type of control here. Because sometimes King of Wands can be like, I'm very much in control of my environment, and there may be something here where if you were to do something that needs to be done within this, it can be that you don't get to stay in exactly that same position anymore. So you have to be kind of flexible, but you may not like doing that. Because King of Wands is that part of us where it's like, I got this, I'm in charge of how this is going, but when we have this next to it, it's like you may not be doing the most responsible things here. Like maybe you're just in charge just to, like, you using your authority here within this circumstance to just keep it the way that you want it, even though things may not be the most effective. And then it kind of like shirking your responsibility a little bit here, if you were to be honest with yourself about that, just because you may feel uncomfortable having to slide over a little bit. Because I get kind of like I almost feel like you're the only one that's in the driver's seat right now, and you may have to like slide over a little bit so maybe somebody else can grab the wheel, not giving the wheel over but so somebody can kind of like co-pilot with you. And this can even be like cosmically, you need to allow the universe to co-pilot with you here, to co-create with you here, rather than you being like, nope, this is all totally my game. But then you're like suffering because of it, because you don't want to negotiate. Like, this feels very unwilling to negotiate here. Like, I want to be the sole person in charge here of this, but then you can feel like something isn't happening that needs to be happening. And so you can maybe be questioning the way that you're using your power, and if you feel like that's actually appropriate for the situation, for you to be using it in that way. I don't get the feeling of like this is you like rolling over here. I really don't get the sense of that. I get it be more so like you just have to share the seat a little bit rather than it just being you there. And this can even be something within the environment too, where you're like, I don't want this to change within the environment, but it's like something bigger is coming through here, and it feels like it's meant to be recognized. It's meant to be acknowledged, and you're meant to do something with that. Like, there's a response that's needed from you, but there can be a part of you that maybe doesn't want to. Maybe because there's some type of like sad truth here. I'm seeing Judgment, and I'm seeing Three of Swords, and I'm seeing Three of Swords be connected with justice. So this can mean actually that when you look at things, you can recognize something isn't working, but it can feel really difficult to confront that. Like, something can actually be getting in the way of things being peaceful, of things being harmonious, of you actually like healing some type of dynamic that needs to be healed, but maybe in a way that you don't want to fully confront, because you may have to do something that feels really difficult for you to do here. You may have to do something that actually feels quite painful to do. I get this. Okay, for those of you that you have strong Libra in your chart, strong Venus in your chart, strong 7th house within your chart, this can be something that feels challenging. Yeah, something that feels very challenging for you to do, because you can feel quite uncomfortable. Because when we are in an energy, I'm looking at Libra and I'm looking at Three of Swords. When you are in an energy, when you're channeling shadow Libra energy, this can be, I don't care if something is really wrong here. As long as it looks good on the surface, that's all that matters. And that is a very shadow Libra energy. Because Libra wants from the bottom up, and also acknowledging too, also recognizing too, that you can only have true harmony, and it will only feel authentic, and you will only feel connected with the essence, with the vibration of what harmony really is, if it's from the bottom up, from the core radiating out, rather than just being like, just on the outskirts, it looks the way that it's supposed to, but you have something rotting in the middle that's not being addressed. So you may actually have to address something. Some of you, I'm getting specifically, this has to do with your socializing. That can be a big part of this. And I mean, we have both Aquarius and we have Libra here. These are two air energies. Air has to do with our communications, our social relationships, the way that we are responding, the way that we are interacting, the way that we are maintaining relationships that we have, how it is that we're showing up. Maybe there's something here where I really do feel like you have the opportunity to, for some of you, salvage something. For some of you, this can be putting a salve on something. There can be something majorly that's being healed with something that you feel like is incorrect within your life. And I do feel like this can come down to a contract or contracts that you have / relationship or relationships that you have. And even though there can be like a focus on a particular relationship, because I am seeing 6 of Cups, so I feel like this is stuff that you've had around for a while. Relationships that you can feel familiar moving around within. That being said, the real change happens because of the change that's happening within your relationship with yourself and your own understanding of your values and how you are either honoring them or disregarding them. And then feeling weird because of it. Like something feeling off. Something feeling like not everything is all right here. and then just putting up with that. Because Libra in its shadow can be a very passive energy. So it can be like, well, I don't want to cause waves here, so I'm just going to bite my tongue and deal with this, even though I'm really suffering in some way. Or even being like, I can handle it, I can handle it. When really it's not allowing you to enjoy things, because Libra is an energy where it's like, if we do the hard work and if we correct what needs to be corrected and bring things into a place of balance, because we're recognizing the components and how they work best together, most effectively, honoring the nature of what things are, recognizing that in the nature of what things are, and seeing what pieces either flow with that or do not flow with that, that is what then allows us to experience the pleasure of these experiences, rather than feeling like something is blocking that from happening. When we don't feel a sense of pleasure within our relationships, we're not really enjoying them, because it's actually, there's something here that needs to be addressed that hasn't been being addressed. And you can be seeing where the avoidance of some type of pain, even though it's radiating and you're being impacted by it, with Judgment and Three of Swords, is like, what is this thing that maybe really needs to be called out and looked at here? Because having Justice above it means this is something that can be corrected. I'm also hearing furnished. This is something that can be corrected. You just may not, there can be a part of you that's like fearful of like having to correct something and maybe what the implications of that would mean, because something painful has to be addressed here. No matter what way you cut it, it's something that, like, there's no way to really not. But you can be seeing too the genesis of where this comes from. Like, maybe this is something from your past that you're seeing repeated in a current situation, where if you were to look at it, you'd understand this is something a pattern you've been dealing with for a long time, with Six of Cups on the bottom of the deck. Is this keeping you from enjoying things in a way that's actually possible? And I think starting off with the Star is going into this with a sense of hope and belief that things actually can get so much better. Things can be so much better than that, and it is possible, but you're gonna have to step up here, and you're gonna have to, like, this is the way for you to be using that energy. Because you have power in this situation. So this is yours. This is yours. You're in charge of this. This is yours to be taken care of. And it is something that can be corrected with Justice there. But there's somewhere where you can be like, I don't want to do that. Like, this just feels like not wanting to involve yourself in something that you're involved with. And you may want to just like keep doing things exactly the same, yet stagnating within the energy. And it just is strange, like, why would you keep yourself in a situation like this when something can be done? It's not like this is something where nothing can just be done and you have to accept it. This is like you're accepting that this is what it is, yet something can be done here. And so that feeling of those energies within you saying, it's actually more aligned dharmically for you to be stepping in and doing something here, and you're not, and then energetically you're going to suffer from that. Like, this can be stuff that even impacts your body because you need to be stepping up. It can be like your body, it can be your mental health, it can be your moods. There can just be stuff that's going on that can be very much impacted by this. So even though you can say maybe like, I can deal with it, there are bigger implications of you not taking action here. And this really does feel like too much in the feminine energy, not moving. And this is a shadow feminine energy. Stepping into it's kind of like if you're either going to be in a high vibrational feminine and masculine energy, or you're going to be in shadow feminine and masculine energy, because you're not going to have the high vibrational energy mix with the more low vibrational energy, because they're not going to go together. So this is saying like something is actually off here. within your energy channels. And this is something that can be corrected here, but you have to look at what you can do within this, because Judgment is looking at King of Wands, and this is the part of you that you have a part to play within this that you may not be playing. And it's going to take you actually looking into that to find that out, because if you're not, you're just going to keep doing this, but then it's like your soul knows, or like your energy knows within you that you're not doing something that you're actually energetically supposed to be doing according to the correct energetics of things, according to the alignment of your higher vibration. It knows that something needs to be done here and something is not being done here. And so you're going to feel what manifests because of that. And some of you already are feeling what manifests because of that. I really do feel like this is something that can be corrected, but in order for you to do it, you're going to have to do something that feels difficult to do here, and you're going to have to face something that can feel painful to face. Having that Three of Swords below Justice, but then everything is going to be okay after that point. If not, this energy just stays lingering around. And don't you want to get to the bottom of it? So this is something that can actually be corrected. So this is something that can be made right. And to believe that that really actually is possible given the circumstance. Maybe you feel a bit conflicted on what to do here. But maybe that also keeps you in a place of inaction. You're like, well, I could do this, I could do that, like this could happen there, but then I'm not really sure, and then like nothing is really happening here. I feel kind of like you're observing something unfold, but still like keeping yourself on the outskirts, when really it feels like something that you're meant to be like in the center of it, doing something there. But you're gonna have to get up in order to do that, and you may not want to get up out of your seat to do this, but it's your shadow. That's obviously not your better knowing here within this. I'm seeing something having to do with Saturn here as it relates to Four of Pentacles, which I feel like, Four of Pentacles in the world. Maybe understanding the difference between keeping something steady and stable and just like staying consistent or regular versus when a shift needs to happen, like when an interjection needs to happen. Because I do get this sense like you're being asked to take action here, to break down why you don't want to do that, and to also see how you not doing that is keeping this going. It's keeping some type of turmoil going around and around and around and around, and you're actually responsible in part for this not being resolved. And ending, like starting with the Star and ending with the World, can be you actually recognizing that you do have a responsibility here, because that is something that Saturn is trying to impress upon us, that we do have responsibilities and that it is our job to step in even when we don't want to have to be doing that, even when there's a part of us that would very much rather not do that, but recognizing that you have a responsibility here and that you can't really offload this. It's yours. Saturn is called the Lord of Karma. It's very much understanding the karmic implications and how you actually are at the basis of this continuing. So maybe there was a part of you that's like, what? I'm not even doing anything here, but it's like you're actually enabling this to continue. It's like holding, by you not stepping in and doing something here, it feels like holding something in a state of conflict. Like you're like continuing that conflict. It's like instead of stepping in to resolve, you're actually fanning the flames for this to continue and to stay in a state of conflict. At this point, I actually feel like many of you can be understanding this, and you can like know what to do at this point so that things can move forward. Because I do feel like you can have been going around and around and around on the merry-go-round, and at this point you can be like, okay, I'm done. I've gone around enough times. So it can be something that you are ready to initiate the change that needs to be initiated, and to recognize your role within this so that things can move forward, and that that pressure can start decreasing now, because something is being dissolved at this point rather than us maintaining that spinning conflict. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I am sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.